हेलो एंड वेलकम टू अनमोल मेहता सुपर 20 IAS। तो गाइस, ये है हमारा लेक्चर 2 फॉर ज्योग्राफी फॉर हिमाचल महाभंडारा कोर्स। आज हम पढ़ने वाले हैं जियोमॉर्फिक प्रोसेसेस एंड अर्थ मूवमेंट्स। The formations and deformations of landforms on the surface of Earth ये continuous process है which is due to the continuous influence of external and internal forces. The internal and external forces causing stresses and chemical action on Earth's materials and bringing about changes in the configuration of surface of the Earth are known as geomorphic processes. तो माइंड मैप टू स्टडी जियोमॉर्फिक प्रोसेसेस और अर्थ मूवमेंट्स, ये याद करने के लिए ये जो डायग्राम है इसको ध्यान से देखें। तो टू टाइप ऑफ प्रोसेसेस होते हैं, वन इज एंडोजेनिक एंड वन इज एक्सोजेनिक। एंडो मतलब इंटरनल एंड एक्सो मतलब एक्सटर्नल। एंडो में जो भी फोर्सेस होती हैं वो सारी इंटरनल होती हैं एंड एक्सोजेनिक में जो भी फोर्सेस होती हैं वो एक्सटर्नल होती हैं। तो एंडोजेनिक में या तो स्लो मूवमेंट्स होती हैं या सडन मूवमेंट्स होती हैं। तो सडन मूवमेंट्स में क्या क्या हो सकता है? वॉल्केनिज्म एंड अर्थक्वेक्स। एंड स्लो मूवमेंट्स में वर्टिकल एपिरियोजेनिक कॉन्टिनेंट बिल्डिंग और हॉरिजॉन्टल दैट इज ओरियोजेनिक और माउंटेन बिल्डिंग। वर्टिकल में अपवर्ड एंड डाउनवर्ड होते हैं एंड हॉरिजॉन्टल में फोर्सेस ऑफ कंप्रेशन होती है। फॉर एग्जांपल जिसे फोल्ड माउंटेन्स हम कहते हैं एंड फोर्सेस ऑफ टेंशन, एग्जांपल फॉल्ट माउंटेन्स जैसे बनते हैं। एक्सोजेनिक में वेदरिंग, इरोजन एंड डेपोजिशन होती हैं। वेदरिंग में फिजिकल, केमिकल एंड बायोलॉजिकल प्रोसेसेस। Erosion due to running water, groundwater, glaciers, waves and currents and winds. And deposition due to running water, groundwater, glacier, waves and currents and winds. तो हम एक एक करके अब सबको पढ़ते हैं। Endogenic forces. Endogenic forces are those internal forces. तो endo का मतलब internal, which derive their strength from Earth's interior and play a crucial role in shaping the Earth's crust. तो इसका एग्जाम्पल क्या हुआ? माउंटेन बिल्डिंग फोर्सेस हो गई या कॉन्टिनेंट बिल्डिंग फोर्सेस, अर्थक्वेक, वॉल्केनिज्म एक्सेट्रा। तो एंडोजेनिक फोर्सेस आर मेनली लैंड बिल्डिंग फोर्सेस। द एनर्जी emanating from within the earth is the main force behind endogenic geomorphic processes. This energy is mostly generated by radioactivity, rotational and tidal friction and primordial heat from the origin of Earth. Exogenic forces are those forces which derive their strength from the Earth's exterior or are originated within the Earth's atmosphere. So example of forces क्या क्या है? Like the wind, waves, water, etc. Example of exogenic processes like weathering, mass movement, erosion, deposition. Exogenic forces are mainly land-bearing forces. Exogenic forces can take the form of weathering, erosion, and deposition. Weathering is the breaking of rocks on the Earth's surface by different agents like rivers, winds, sea waves, and glaciers. Erosion is the carrying of broken rocks from one place to another by natural agents like wind, water, and glaciers. The actions of exogenic forces result in wearing down, that is also known as degradation, of relief or elevations and filling up of basins, depressions on Earth's surface. The phenomena of wearing down of relief variation on the surface of Earth through erosion is known as gradation. The geomorphic agents क्या क्या हुए? Like running water, groundwater, glaciers, the wind, waves, current, etc. All these are called geomorphic agents. Geomorphic processes and geomorphic agents में क्या फर्क होता है? A process is a force applied on Earth's material affecting the same. Agent क्या होता है? Is a mobile medium, जैसे कि running water, moving ice masses, winds, waves, currents, etc., which removes, transports, and deposits Earth's material. Earth's movements. They are the movement in the Earth's crust caused by the endogenic or exogenic forces. These movements are also termed as tectonic movements. So tectonic जो term है, it is derived from the Greek word tecton, which means builders. So, as the word means, these movements are mainly builders and have been responsible for building up different type of landforms. endogenic forces. Endogenic forces can be classified as slow movements, also can be called diastrophic, and sudden movements. So slow movements causes changes very gradually, which might not be visible during a human lifetime. तो हम पढ़ेंगे सबसे पहले slow movements और diastrophic forces. Diastrophic forces refer to the forces generated by the movement of solid material of the Earth's crust. All the processes that move, elevate, or build portions of the Earth's crust come under diastrophism. Diastrophism includes orogenic processes involving mountain building through severe folding and affecting long and narrow belts of the Earth's crust, epeirogenic processes involving uplift or wrapping of large part of the Earth's crust, earthquake involving local relatively minor movements, plate tectonics involving horizontal movements of crustal plates. Slow movements can be classified as vertical and horizontal movements. Vertical movements or epeirogenic movements. So जो vertical movements हैं, they are mainly associated with the formation of continents and plateaus. They are also known as epeirogenic movements. The broad central part of continents are called cratons and are subject to epeirogeny. They do not bring any changes in the horizontal rock strata. While they can cause upliftment of continent, they can also cause subsidence of continent. These movements are originated from the center of the earth. Horizontal movements. Horizontal forces acts on the earth's crust from side to side to cause these movements. They are also known as orogenic movements or mountain building. They bring a lot of disruptions to the horizontal layer of strata, leading to a large structural deformation of Earth's crust. They can be classified as forces of compression and forces of tension. So forces of compression. Forces of compression are the forces which push rock strata against a hard plane from one side or from both sides. The compressional forces lead to the bending of rock layers and thus lead to the formation of fold mountains. Most of the great mountain chains of the world, like Himalayas, the Rockies in North America, the Andes in South America, the Alps in Europe, are formed in this manner only. So ये है example of folding due to the compression. The next is force of tension. The forces of tension work horizontally but in opposite directions. Under the operation of intense tensional forces, the rock stratum gets broken or fractured, which result in the formation of cracks and fractures in the crust. The displacement of rock upward or downward from their original position along such a fracture is termed as faulting. The line along which displacement of a fractured rock strata takes place is called as the fault line. Faulting results in the formation of well-known relief features such as rift valleys and block mountains. जिसका example है Vindhya and Satpura mountains. A rift valley is formed by sinking of rock strata lying between almost two parallel faults, जैसे कि Valley of Nile, Rift Valley of Narmada and Tapi. Rift valleys with steep parallel walls along the fault are called as graben, and the uplifted landmass with the steep slopes on the both sides are called as host. The very steep slope in a continuous line along a fault is termed as escarpment. Next is sudden movements. So two sudden movements we have are volcanoes and earthquakes. So volcano क्या है? Volcano is an opening of Earth's crust through which gases, molten rocks, materials, ash, steam, lava, etc. are emitted outward in the course of eruption. Such vents or openings occur in those parts of the Earth's crust where the rock strata are relatively weak. So volcanic activity क्या है? Is an example of endogenic processes. So different type of landforms can be formed depending upon the explosive nature of a volcano, such as plateau, अगर volcano explosive नहीं है, or a mountain if the volcano is explosive in nature. तो मैग्मा और लावा अगर आपको पता है तो उसमें क्या डिफरेंस होता है? मैग्मा is the term used to denote the molten rocks and related materials seen inside the earth. A weaker zone of the mantle called asthenosphere, ये कल वाले लेक्चर में हमने पढ़ा था, usually is the source of magma. Once this magma come out of the earth's surface through the vent of a volcano, it is called as lava. तो मैग्मा वो है जो अर्थ के अंदर है और जब वो बाहर आ जाता है तो हम उसे लावा बोल देते हैं. Therefore, lava is nothing but the magma on the Earth's surface. The process by which solid, liquid, and gaseous material escape from the Earth's interior to the surface of the Earth is called volcanism. The different type of volcanoes कौन से होते हैं? Volcanoes are classified on the basis of nature of eruption and the form developed at the surface. तो 4 types के होते हैं. The first one is fissure volcano, then is shield volcano, composite volcano, and the last one is caldera. Shield volcanoes, if you can see in the picture. तो उसको आइडेंटिफाई कैसे करेंगे? ये बहुत ज्यादा स्टीप नहीं होते हैं, but are very far and wider. They extend to great heights as well as distance. तो ये जो है ये सबसे लार्जेस्ट ऑफ ऑल वॉल्केनोज इन द वर्ल्ड है, क्योंकि जो लावा है ये फ्लो करता है टू अ फार डिस्टेंस. द मोस्ट फेमस एग्जांपल ऑफ दिस वॉल्केनो इज हवाईयन वॉल्केनोज. तो शील्ड वॉल्केनोज की जो स्लोप्स होती हैं वो बहुत लो होती हैं एंड कंसिस्ट ऑलमोस्ट इंटायरली ऑफ फ्रोजन लावास. ये जो वॉल्केनोज होते हैं दे आर मोस्टली मेड अप ऑफ बेसॉल्ट and a type of lava that is very fluid when erupted. इसी रीजन के कारण these volcanoes are not very steep. जो shield volcanoes होते हैं they are low explosive in general, but if somehow water gets into the vent they may turn explosive. The upcoming lava moves in the form of a fountain and throws out the cone at the top of the vent and develops into a cinder cone. The next one is cinder cone volcanoes. So cinders क्या होते हैं? Cinders are extrusive igneous rocks. A modern name of cinder is scoria. तो जो cinder cone volcanoes होते हैं ये बहुत small volcanoes होते हैं. These volcanoes consist almost entirely of loose grainy cinders and almost no lava. जो इनकी sides होती हैं ये very steep होती हैं and they usually have a small crater on the top. The next one is composite volcanoes. तो जो composite volcano है उनकी shape कैसी होती है? It is a cone shaped with moderately steep sides and sometimes have small craters in their summits. Volcanologists call these strato or composite volcanoes क्योंकि इनके पास जो होती है बहुत सारी layers होती हैं of solid lava that flows mixed with layers of sand or gravel like volcanic rock called cinders or volcanic ash. They are characterized by the eruption of a cooler and more viscous lavas than basalt. These volcanoes often result in explosive eruptions. तो लावा के साथ साथ ये large quantities of pyroclastic materials and ashes निकलते हैं इससे. This material accumulates in the vicinity of the vent openings and leading to the formation of layers, and this makes the mountain appears as composite volcanoes. And the last one is caldera. तो caldera है वो most explosive of the Earth's volcanoes हैं. They are usually so explosive that when they erupt, they tend to collapse on themselves rather than building any tall structure. The collapsed depressions are called calderas. Their explosiveness indicates that its magma chamber is large and in close vicinity. तो caldera crater से कैसे different है? क्योंकि कैल्डेरा है वो ह्यूज डिप्रेशन कॉज करता है बाय अ कोलैप्स आफ्टर अ लार्ज स्केल इरप्शन, whereas a crater is small, steep side volcanic depression bored out of a eruptive plume. Next is flood basalt provinces. तो ये जो volcanoes है ये outpour highly fluid lava करते हैं that flows from long distances. The Deccan Traps from India, presently covering most of the Maharashtrian plateau, are a much larger flood basalt province. The next is mid-ocean ridge volcanoes. So these volcanoes occur in the oceanic areas. There is a system of mid-oceanic ridges more than 70,000 kilometers long that stretches through all the oceanic basins. The central portion of this ridge experiences frequent eruptions. So जो volcanoes हैं, they can be also classified based on the frequency of eruption, mode of eruption, and characteristics of lava. तो based on frequency of eruption, तीन टाइप के होते हैं: active volcanoes, dormant volcanoes, and extinct volcanoes. Active volcanoes कौन से हुए? जो कि erupt हुए हैं frequently or have erupted recently or are in action. For example, Barren Island. Dormant होते हैं that has not been erupted in recent times, but वो कभी ना कभी human history में एक बार तो erupt हुए होंगे. और extinct volcanoes हैं जो कि human history में कभी भी erupt नहीं हुए. Next है based on the mode of eruption. तो इसमें टू टाइप के होते हैं: सेंटर टाइप वॉल्केनोस एंड फिशर टाइप वॉल्केनोस. तो सेंटर टाइप वॉल्केनोस वो होते हैं जिसका eruption थ्रू वेंट और ओपनिंग होता है, और फिशर टाइप वॉल्केनोस वो जिसमें मैग्मा जो है वो फ्लो करता है थ्रू डीप एलोंगेटेड ट्रैक्स. तो इसका एग्जांपल क्या है? डेकन ट्रैप्स. तो बेस्ड ऑन द कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स ऑफ लावा, तो volcanoes on basic lava will be rich in metallic minerals and low melting point, hence it has greater fluidity. And volcanoes of acidic lava are rich in silica and has relatively high melting point. So volcanic landforms: the lava that is released during volcanic eruptions on cooling develops into igneous rocks. तो जो कूलिंग होती है या तो वो सरफेस के अंदर ही होती है या वो जब सरफेस पे पहुंच जाता है लावा तब होती है. डिपेंडिंग ऑन द लोकेशन ऑफ द कूलिंग ऑफ लावा, igneous rocks are classified as volcanic igneous rocks, also known as extrusive igneous rocks. तो volcanic igneous rocks वो होते हैं जिसकी जो कूलिंग होती है वो रॉक की वो अकर होती है at the surface of earth, for example basalt, andesite, etc. The next is plutonic igneous rocks, also known as inclusive igneous rocks. तो इसकी जो कूलिंग होती है that takes place in the crust and surface पे नहीं, for example granite, gabbro, diorite, etc. तो inclusive igneous rocks can be classified into following types: batholiths, flacoliths, and lepoliths. Batholiths वो होते हैं, it is a large body of magmatic material that pools in the deeper depth in the form of large dome. They are granitic bodies. They sometimes appear on the surface when the denudation processes remove the overlying materials. Lacolith वो होते हैं, they have large dome-shaped inclusive bodies with a level base and pipe-like conduit from below. Resembles a composite volcano structure, but ये beneath the earth होता है. तो इसका example क्या है? Like Karnataka Plateau. And lapoliths क्या होते हैं? They are saucer-shaped, concave to the sky. The next is facolids. Facolids क्या होते हैं? Wavy materials which have a definite conduit to the source beneath. Next is sheets or sills. They are near horizontal bodies of inclusive igneous rocks. जो thinner one होते हैं उसको sheets बोलते हैं, while thick horizontal deposits are called sills. Dikes क्या है? When the lava comes out of through cracks and fissures, वो वहीं पे cool down हो जाते हैं and they solidify almost perpendicular to the ground to form a wall-like structure called dikes. तो इसका example जो है very famous Deccan Traps in Maharashtra region. So you can see in the picture volcanic landforms कैसे बनते हैं. तो अगर हम बात करें कि डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ वॉल्केनोस, तो मोस्ट ऑफ द वॉल्केनोस जो है वर्ल्ड के, दे आर फाउंड इन द 3 वेल डिफाइंड बेल्ट्स. तो फर्स्ट बेल्ट जो है दैट इज द सर्कम पैसिफिक बेल्ट, द पैसिफिक रिंग ऑफ फायर जिसे हम कहते हैं. द अदर इज द मिडवर्ल्ड माउंटेन बेल्ट एंड द लास्ट वन इज द अफ्रीकन रिफ्ट वैली बेल्ट. सो हमने वॉल्केनोस तो पढ़ लिए, तो नेक्स्ट है अर्थक्वेक्स. तो पहली बात, अर्थक्वेक को हम मेजर करते हैं सेस्मोग्राफ से. तो द नेटवर्क ऑफ सेस्मोग्राफिक स्टेशंस ऑल ओवर द वर्ल्ड रिकॉर्ड डजन्स ऑफ अर्थक्वेक्स एवरी डे. तो जो बहुत सारे earthquakes होते हैं वो एज अ ह्यूमन बीइंग हमें फील भी नहीं होते होंगे, बट दे अकर डेली, और उनको हम माइनर क्वेक्स कहते हैं. The occurrence of a severe earthquake is limited to a few regions in the world. The point within the Earth's crust where an earthquake originates, जहां से earthquake शुरू होता है, is called as the focus or hypocenter or seismic focus. ये generally lie करता है within a depth of 6 kilometer in Earth's crust. The point vertically above the focus on the Earth's surface is called an epicenter. The intensity of earthquake will be the highest. कहाँ पे? क्योंकि जब वो अर्थ सरफेस की होगा तो सबसे ज्यादा एपिसेंटर पे होगी, एंड जैसे जैसे हम एपिसेंटर से दूर जाते जाएंगे तो इंटेंसिटी ऑफ अर्थक्वेक क्या है, वो कम होती जाएगी. All natural earthquakes takes place in the lithosphere. As you can see in the picture, जहाँ पे earthquake originate होता है, that is the focus point, that is in the interior of earth. उसके perpendicular जहाँ पे भी वो surface पे touch करता है, that is known as the epicenter. तो earthquake waves और seismic waves क्या होती हैं? The earthquake which originates in the lithosphere propagates different seismic waves or earthquake waves. Earthquake waves are basically of two types, body waves and surface waves. तो body waves में two types हैं, P waves और primary waves, और secondary waves और S waves. Surface waves हैं L waves, love waves, और R waves, Rayleigh waves. Body waves, so they are generated due to the release of energy at the focus जहां से originate हुआ and moves in all the directions traveling through the body of earth, इसलिए इसका नाम body waves है. ये travel होती हैं only and only through the interior of earth. Body waves are faster than surface waves. क्योंकि body waves जो है वो faster होती है surface waves से, इसलिए वो सिस्मोग्राफ में पहले डिटेक्ट हो जाती हैं. टू टाइप की जो बॉडी वेव्स होती हैं, दे आर प्राइमरी वेव्स और सेकेंडरी वेव्स. प्राइमरी वेव्स आर द फास्टेस्ट बॉडी वेव्स that is twice the speed of S waves and are first to reach during an earthquake. ये सिमिलर होती हैं to the sound waves क्योंकि ये longitudinal waves भी हैं in which particle movement is in the same direction of wave propagation. ये travel कर सकती हैं through solid, liquid and gaseous materials. They create density differences in the earth material leading to the stretching and squeezing. The next is secondary waves or S waves. They arrive at the surface with some time gap after primary waves. ये slower होती हैं than primary waves and can pass only through solid materials. तो ये जो property है S wave की, इससे क्या conclude होता है that Earth's outer core is in a liquid state. They are transverse waves in which directions of particle movement and wave propagation are perpendicular to each other. The next is surface waves. When the body waves interact with the surface rocks, a new set of waves is generated called as surface waves. तो जब body waves क्या है वो surface के पास आती हैं तो new waves generate होती हैं, उसे हम surface waves बोलते हैं. ये जो waves हैं ये move along करती हैं the earth surface. Surface waves are also transverse waves in which particle movement is perpendicular to the wave propagation. Hence, they create crests and troughs in the material through which they pass. जो surface waves होती हैं, they are considered to be the most damaging waves. The two common surface waves क्या हैं? Love waves and Rayleigh waves. Love waves, this kind of surface waves causes horizontal shifting of the earth during an earthquake. ये body waves से तो बहुत slow होती हैं but are faster than Rayleigh waves. ये exist करती हैं only and only in the presence of semi-infinite medium overlain by an upper finite thickness. As they are confined to the surface of the crust, love waves produce entirely horizontal motion. The next one is Rayleigh waves. These waves follow an elliptical motion. A Rayleigh wave rolls around the ground just like a wave roll across a lake or an ocean. क्योंकि वो roll करती हैं, it moves the ground up and down and side in the same direction that the wave is moving. You can see in the picture. Most of the shaking felt from an earthquake is due to the Rayleigh waves, which can be much larger than the other waves. shadow region of waves. With the help of these properties of primary wave, seismologists have a fair idea about the interior of Earth. Even though P waves pass through all mediums, it causes reflection when it enters from one medium to another. The variations in the direction of waves are inferred with the help of their record on seismographs. The area where the seismograph records no waves is called the shadow zone of that wave. So as you can see in the diagram, जब भी waves travel करती हैं तो एक shadow zone बना देती हैं when they go from one medium to the other medium. तो मैंने शुरू में बताया था कि हम मेजर करते हैं अर्थक्वेक को थ्रू सिस्मोग्राफ. Seismometers are the instruments which are used to measure the motion on the ground, which include those of seismic waves generated by earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and other seismic sources. A seismograph is also another term used to mean seismometer, though it is more applicable to the older instruments. The recorded graphical output from a seismometer is called a seismogram. There are two main scales used in the seismometers, Mercalli scale and Richter scale. So Mercalli scale क्या है? This scale represents the intensity of earthquake, while Richter scale क्या है? It represents the magnitude of earthquake. The distribution of earthquakes. There are two well-defined belts where earthquake frequently occurs: the Circum-Pacific Belt and the Mid-World Mountain Belt. तो about 68% of जो earthquakes हैं world में वो occur होते हैं in the Circum-Pacific Belt. So this map shows the major earthquake belts. So ये तो थी endogenic forces. Now we are going to start with exogenic forces. So the forces which derive their strength from Earth's exterior or originate within the Earth's atmosphere are called exogenic forces or external forces. The action of exogenic forces result in wearing down, and hence they are considered as land-bearing forces. Exogenic processes or denudation. The processes which occur on the Earth's surface due to the influence of exogenic forces are called exogenic processes. तो मेन कौन से एक्सोजेनिक प्रोसेसेस होते हैं? वेदरिंग, मास वेस्टिंग, इरोजन एंड डेपोजिशन. सारे एक्सोजेनिक प्रोसेसेस जो हैं ये इसको हम एक जनरल टर्म के अंदर कवर कर देते हैं, दैट इज नोन एज डेन्यूडेशन, व्हिच मींस स्ट्रिप ऑफ और अनकवर्स. नेचर के जो भी एलिमेंट्स होते हैं दैट आर कैपेबल ऑफ डूइंग दीज एक्सोजेनिक प्रोसेसेस आर टर्म्ड एज जियोमॉर्फिक एजेंट्स. फॉर एग्जांपल विंड, वाटर, वेव्स. Geomorphic processes and geomorphic agents, especially exogenic, अगर वो specifically stated नहीं है, they are one and the same thing. Gravity and gradients are two things that make these agents mobile. जो भी movements होती हैं either within the earth or on the surface of earth occur due to gradients from higher level to lower levels, from higher pressure to lower pressure. जो भी एक्सोजेनिक फोर्सेस होती हैं ये डिराइव करती हैं अपनी एनर्जी फ्रॉम द एटमॉस्फेयर दैट इज डिटरमाइंड बाय द अल्टीमेट एनर्जी फ्रॉम द सन एंड आल्सो द ग्रेडियंट क्रिएटेड बाय टेक्टोनिक फैक्टर्स. So we know that the force applied per unit area is called stress, and the stress is produced in a solid by pushing or pulling. So the gravitational forces that acts upon the Earth's material having a sloping surface and tends to produce movements of matter in the down slope direction. This creates stress and induces deformation to the particles. So exogenic processes four types के: weathering, mass movements, erosion and deposition. The first one is weathering. So weathering क्या होती है? It is the action of elements of weather and climate over earth material. इसको हम define कर सकते हैं as mechanical disintegration and chemical decomposition of rocks through the actions of various elements of weather and climate. तो जब rocks हैं, जब वो undergo करते हैं weathering, तो some minerals are removed through chemical or physical leaching by groundwater, and thereby the concentration of remaining minerals increase. Weathering तीन टाइप में classify कर सकते हैं: physical, chemical and biological. Physical में क्या होता है? It depends upon some applied forces. ये जो applied forces हैं, that can be gravitational forces such as overburden pressure, load and shearing stress, expansion forces due to temperature changes, crystal growth or animal activity, water pressure controlled by wetting and dry cycles, and causes इनके क्या हैं कि most of the physical weathering are caused by thermal expansion and pressure. So physical weathering is also classified into three parts. The first one is unloading and expansion. The removal of overlying rock load because of continued erosion caused vertical pressure release. Thus, the upper layers of the remaining rock expand to produce disintegration of rock masses. क्या होगा? Fractures will develop roughly parallel to the ground surface. In the areas of curved ground surfaces, arced fractures tend to produce massive sheets or exfoliated slabs. Exfoliation is a result but not a process. The flaking off or more or less curved sheets of shells from over rocks or bedrock result in smooth and rounded surfaces. So unloading and expansion create largely smooth rounded domes called exfoliation domes. The next is temperature changes and expansion. So with rising in temperature, every mineral expands and pushes against its neighbor, and as the temperature falls, a corresponding contraction takes place. Due to differential heating and the resulting expansion and contraction of surface layers and their subsequent exfoliation from the surface results in smooth rounded surfaces in rocks. So in rock like granite, smooth surfaced and rounded small to big boulders called tores form due to such exfoliation. What are tores? You can see in the picture. The next is freezing, thawing and frost wedging. The cycles of freezing and thawing cause frost weathering. It is the most effective at high elevations in mid-latitude where freezing and melting is often repeated. Rapid freezing of water causes its sudden expansion and high pressure. The resulting expansion affects joints, cracks, and small intergranular fractures to become wider and wider till the rock breaks apart. Next is salt weathering. Salts in rocks expand due to thermal action, hydration, and crystallization. Many salts, जैसे कि calcium, sodium, magnesium, potassium, and barium, have a high tendency to expand. The expansion depends on temperature and thermal properties. Salt crystallization is the most effective of all salt weathering processes. It is favored in the areas of alternative wetting and drying conditions. The next one is chemical weathering. So chemical weathering can be due to solution, carbonation, hydration, oxidation, or reduction. So solution क्या होता है? When something is dissolved in water or acids, the water or acid with dissolved content is called a solution. ये जो process है, it involves the removal of solids in solution and it depends upon the solubility of a mineral in water and weak acids. When coming into contact with water, बहुत सारे solids होते हैं, वो disintegrate कर जाते हैं and mix up as a suspension in the water. Soluble rock forming minerals like nitrates, sulfates, potassium are affected by this process. This kind of weathering mainly occurs in rainy season. Minerals like calcium carbonate, magnesium bicarbonate present in the limestone are soluble in water containing carbonic acid and are carried away in the water as a solution. Common salt is also a rock forming mineral and is susceptible to the process of solution. The next is carbonation. Carbonation is the reaction of carbonate and bicarbonate with minerals and is a common process helping to break down feldspar and carbonate minerals. जो carbon dioxide present है in the atmosphere and soil is absorbed by water to form carbonic acid that acts as a weak acid. So calcium carbonate and magnesium carbonate are dissolved in carbonic acid and are removed in a solution without leaving any residue, resulting in the cave formation. The next one is hydration. So hydration क्या है? Chemical addition of water. So जो minerals हैं, they take a water and they expand. This expansion causes an increase in the volume of the material itself or the rock. The process is reversible, long. Continued repetition of this process causes fatigue in the rocks and this may lead to their disintegration. तो इसका एग्जाम्पल क्या है कि जो कैल्शियम सल्फेट है that takes in water and turns into gypsum, वो ज्यादा स्टेबल है than calcium sulfate. The next one is oxidation and reduction. So in weathering, oxidation means a combination of mineral with an oxygen to form oxides or hydroxides. Minerals most commonly involved in these are iron, manganese, sulfur, etc. The red color of the iron upon oxidation turns to brown and yellow. In this process of oxidation, rock breaks down due to the disturbance caused by the addition of oxygen. When oxidized minerals are placed in environment where oxygen is absent, reduction takes place. The third one is biological weathering. So this kind of weathering is caused by several biological activities like the growth or the movement of organisms. They also bring conditions for physical or chemical weathering. जैसे कि grazing of animals, plowing by humans are examples of biological weathering. Then we are going to talk about what are mass movements. These movements transfer the mass of rock debris down the slope under the direct influence of gravity. Mass movements are very active over weathered slopes rather than an unweathered slope. The usual geographic agents like running water, glacier, wind, waves, etc. do not have much role to play in these mass movements, and it is the gravity which is the main driving force. The mass movements are classified into slow movements and rapid movements. Slow movements जैसे कि creep में होता है, it occurs on moderately steep soil covered slopes. The movement is extremely slow and imperceptible except through extended observation. तो कभी आपने नोटिस किया होगा कि इलेक्ट्रिक पोस्ट हमारे रीजन में जो भी स्लोपी एरियाज पे होते हैं, they are deviated from their horizontal linearity. This is an effect of creep. The next is solidification. ये process है of slow down slope flowing of soil mass or fine grained rock debris saturated or lubricated with water. It can be said as a type of creep with the lubricated water influences the movement. ये mainly occur करते हैं in permafrost regions as the layers of groundwater are occupied in between permanently frozen rocks or soil. Then we have rapid movements जैसे कि earth flow, mud flow और debris avalanche. तो earth flow में क्या होता है? The movement of water saturated clayey or silty earth materials down low angle terraces or hillsides is called earth flow. मड फ्लो इन द एब्सेंस ऑफ वेजिटेशन एंड कवर, आपने देखा होगा हैवी रेनफॉल में जो मड है वो फ्लो करता है. द थिक लेयर्स ऑफ वेदर्ड मटेरियल get saturated with water and either slow or rapidly flow down along definite channels is called mud flow. Debris avalanche में क्या होता है? It is more in the humid regions जहाँ पे vegetation हो या ना हो. It occurs in the narrow tracts on steep slopes and is similar to snow avalanche. And the last is landslides. तो landslides में क्या होता है? जो material होता है that is relatively dry. Landslides can be classified into slum, debris, slides, rock slides, etc. So slum होता है, it is a type of landslide in which the slipping of several units of rocks, debris occur with a backward rotation with respect to the slope over which the movement takes place. Debris slide में क्या होता है? There is no backward rotation. The fall is almost vertical. And rock slide is nothing but the slide of individual rock masses. Then we have erosion and deposition. So erosion, soil erosion, आपने छोटे होते हैं अपनी geography की books में पढ़ा होगा. Erosion is the acquisition and transportation of rock debris by geomorphic agents like running water, wind, waves, etc. हालांकि जो weathering है ये aid करती है erosion को. It is not the precondition for erosion to take place. इरोजन वहां भी हो सकती है जहां पे अनवेदर्ड कंडीशंस हों. The deposition is a consequence of erosion. The erosional agent lose their velocity and energy on gentle slopes and material carried by them start to settle themselves. So I hope you guys like the video. If you like the video, give us a thumbs up, share it with your friends and subscribe to our channel for more videos. Thank you so much for watching and happy learning.